Heyo, and what is up, gang? Thank you for checking out Sledgehammer TV tonight. Remember the days when SmackDown Live was the better of the two nights of WWE programming? Remember when it seemed like SmackDown Live kind of gave a shit? They never really gave a 5-star show, but it seemed like they had some sort of attention to detail, some sort of care in putting together the show. Those days are long gone, and we are going to talk about it right here and right now. My name is Nick Nightmare, and you are watching the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show SmackDown Live Review. It's time to bring the hammer down and show you guys everything wrong with this fucking show. Let's do it. Alright, wrestling fans, thank you once again for joining me. My God, man, I fell asleep maybe 3 times during this last 2 hours that I was just sitting through SmackDown Live. It was an absolute struggle to get to the end, and I kept trying to figure it out. I kept trying to ask myself, what is going on? Why is SmackDown Live putting me to sleep? Why do I feel like I just drank an extra large bottle of fucking NyQuil and can't keep my eyes open to save my very life? Well, I figured it out by the time we got to the end of the show, because all night long I got this very strange, very familiar, very deja vu-like feeling, and then it dawned upon me. Tonight's episode of SmackDown Live has no script. They couldn't get a script written. They barely got the script written for Monday Night Raw last night in time. I'm sure that's in the every week operations of the WWE. That's how it goes down. And then they came to the start of tonight's show. They couldn't fucking come up with anything. So they took last night's script and they said, we'll trim some of the fat and we'll go with this. Tonight's SmackDown Live was a near exact replica of Monday Night Raw. Don't believe me? Well, that's why I am here, to enlighten you and bring you guys over to the real dark side, where we don't take no shit from Vince McMahon and the WWE. We call a spade, and let me tell you guys some of the similarities between the two shows, which made SmackDown Live suck just as much as Monday Night Raw once again. Number 1, Money in the Bank competitors for both the male and females just being announced. Just, oh, by the way, these are the people that we chose just because we fucking chose them for no apparent reason. Nobody's earning spots. There's no importance placed on anything. All of the same things that I said in last night's Monday Night Raw review. So essentially, if you missed that, you could go watch that after you watch this, but it's going to be the same show, only with different characters in place. Money in the Bank should be prestigious. It should be earned. But no, we're just throwing people in there. And tonight, it's even less important because they didn't even give it to a talk show segment. They just gave it to the announce team here. Announce the competitors. Let's get this out there. Let's get this over with. What? What else? Having the men's competitors that were announced for the Money in the Bank match on tonight's SmackDown Live placed in a tag team match. The exact same thing that happened on Monday Night Raw. You think because you did it at the beginning of Raw last night and you put it towards the end of SmackDown Live tonight, I'm not going to notice that I'm watching the same exact fucking thing unfold? Just without the 20-minute boring fucking interview segment featuring every single one of these guys? You think I'm not going to notice that? You think I'm not going to notice that we had an in-ring interview segment 2 nights in a row featuring Michael Cole as the mediator? We had it in the contract signing last night, and then the show opened tonight almost as if it was a continuation. We had Michael Cole end last night. We had Michael Cole begin tonight with an interview segment with the World Heavyweight Champion Kofi Kingston, which I thought went on way too long. Why Michael Cole was needed to be involved and why we had to go back and take a look at all the footage and waste 10 to 15 minutes of time when we could be watching another match or something better than listening to Michael Cole tell us his feelings about Kofi Kingston. What does he fucking care about Kofi Kingston? When has Michael Cole ever given a shit about Kofi Kingston? Never. Now I'm supposed to believe, oh, Michael Cole's been through this journey with him for 11 years? Get the hell out of here. Sit down. Go put your headset on and listen to Vince McMahon tell you what to say. We had a new tag team on this specific brand. Tonight, it was Kairi Sane and Asuka. Last night, it was the War Raiders featured in a squash match. That's the same exact segment. Just because it was done with the women tonight and the men last night doesn't mean I'm not going to fucking notice. We ended the shows in the near identical way with a talking segment. Last night it was the contract signing. Tonight it was the Kevin Owens show. But either way you look at it, both segments broke down into a brawl featuring a spot with a table. Do I really need to go on and on? We had a segment with Shane McMahon as the antagonist. Last night he was beating up on The Miz. Tonight he's beating up on fucking Roman Reigns. It's the exact same show. Why? Why? Those are just the tip of the iceberg similarities we can get up and down on this fucking show with. But now we're going to start pinpointing exactly everything that went wrong on tonight's SmackDown Live. And let's start with the women's tag team matchup featuring this new tag team of Kairi Sane and Asuka. They are not the Sky Pirates. I don't know why they're even doing this. And these two girls are being wasted in the tag team division. Oh, well, we need girls tag teams for the tag team divisions, Mr. Nightmare. What are you talking about? Well, let me explain to you something. It's Money in the Bank season. Those women's tag team championship belts mean absolutely fucking nothing. Nothing. These girls should be being featured on the hunt and in the race for the Money in the Bank ladder match. That's Kairi Sane, former NXT Women's Champion. One of the only women walking around saying that she beat Shayna Baszler. You don't think she deserves a chance at a Money in the Bank contract? Asuka, multiple-time Women's Champion in NXT and on SmackDown Live. She doesn't deserve to have another chance to get her hands on the briefcase? No, we're going to just throw them into the tag team division. And I might not be too down on that if they actually had some girls for these ladies to fight. But not only is Paige just sticking out like a sore fucking thumb as their manager, she doesn't fit the profile. She doesn't need to be out there with them. I don't know what her personal investment in the two hottest properties from Japan that the WWE has ever seen is. I don't know why she's being involved with this at all. And you would think that her being involved would lead to them having a feud with the Absolution, which would absolutely make sense. But instead, you want to see how badly they're wasting them. They're putting them in the ring tonight with two local yokel enhancements. One of them that looks like Alicia Fox 2.0 and the other one which is a discount Eva Marie. You're going to come out there with your all red everything fucking hair wearing a Poison Ivy outfit looking significantly less attractive than that friggin' non-wrestler Eva Marie was. And you think I'm not going to notice that? You're poking fun at this girl? Like, why are you even teasing us with the fact that, oh, well, this could have been Eva Marie? You're trying to make us feel better? At least you're not watching Eva Marie. Here's a cheap knockoff so that you can realize that the girl's not here anymore and maybe you'll appreciate this. No, I don't appreciate it. I don't appreciate it. Why is this happening? Kairi Sane and Asuka, like I said, Money in the Bank, that's where they belong. That would make the match infinitely more exciting. Way more than you're going to get with any of the fucking girls they put in there already. They deserve to be in that match. Not Dana Brooke. Not Alexa Bliss. Not Mandy Rose. Not Carmella. The other four girls, I can make an argument for each and every one of them. Bayley, former Women's Champion on the main roster, former NXT Women's Champion. Ember Moon, former NXT Women's Champion. Naomi, former SmackDown Live Women's Champion. Even Natty. She's had her time with the championship belt, but she's the established veteran who they need somebody in that ring that can contain the chaos and has the experience to lead these younger girls and some of these newer girls through a match like a ladder match just in general. So you want to have a ring general out there, and Natty fits the profile. She might not be your favorite, she might not be the best wrestler, but she's definitely the one that can choreograph the madness between all the rest of these girls who might just not know what the hell to do. And God forbid an emergency situation, you want to have a veteran out there that can maybe take control and carry the match. So that would be the case you would make for Natalya. So fine, I'm okay with that. But an enhancement jobber team, that you modeled to look like two of the worst female wrestlers that has ever graced the mat? That's what you got for these girls? Big, big, big sin. Looking at it right there. Let's go on this woman's tangent a little bit more. Becky Lynch. Same old shit. Becky 2 belts. Why can't she forget about Ronda Rousey? Why is she still talking about WrestleMania? Is she not concerned about Money in the Bank? She goes out there tonight. She has a match with Bayley. Decent match between these two girls. But how did Becky Lynch's segment end tonight? By her getting beat up by a 6-foot blonde. And it's not even the same 6-foot blonde from 24 hours ago. But essentially, her segment came to a close in the exact same fashion. You're going to tell me this isn't a carbon copy of Monday Night Raw? Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns. This man has been in 4 WrestleMania main events. He has defeated the likes of Brock Lesnar and Braun Strowman. He has defeated The Undertaker at a WrestleMania. And you want me to give a shit that you're putting him in the ring with the B team? The fucking B team, another casualty of the superstar shakeup, which wasn't really made known to anybody until this impromptu move here tonight. A team that Roman Reigns has constantly slaughtered on almost a weekly basis all throughout 2017 into 2018 when they were part of the Miztourage. You want me to take that and be like, oh, Roman Reigns is in trouble now. Can he defy the odds? What? Oh, wait, let's make it even better. Well, even worse is the proper way to go about it. Let's make Elias the special guest referee, and we'll make Shane McMahon the antagonist, and there'll be no way Roman Reigns can overcome these odds. What? Talk about delusion. How can you book this man this way? And why is... I'm going to keep saying this to you guys until something is done about it. Maybe somebody will fucking hear me. Somebody get to Big Joe. Somebody get to the big dog and tell him to go put on some fucking yard clothes or something, because I'm tired of seeing him in the Shield gear. It's almost an inevitable fact that we're going to have to adjust to and just live with, that he's going to have the Shield's music till his last day on this planet, most likely. But does he have to look the same? Get a haircut. Change your facial features on your beard. Do something. Take the fucking flak jacket off. Wear a regular t-shirt. Wear a wife beater in memory of Dean Ambrose. Put on some fucking Hawaiian luau shorts. Come out there dressed up like fucking Maui. Do something. I'm tired of this same presentation. You want the man to get over, make a fucking change. Maybe give him some fucking devious hip-hop music or something cool. Let him come out to something similar like the Usos got going on. Let him come out dressed fly, come out dressed in, suit and tie, turtlenecks, gold chains. Do something different from what you have been giving us. I'm tired of seeing him in the fucking cargo pants and the flak jacket. You can put your little fucking logo on literally anything. Get a fucking hoodie. Come out with a hoodie and a fucking Robin mask on. At least you'll be different, bro. And maybe people will accept you, because this version of Roman Reigns is just tired and boring, and it becomes even more tired and boring when you're giving him the same opponents. You brought him to SmackDown Live, promising us all new matches, new opponents. And Roman Reigns' first matchups on SmackDown Live since the shakeup have been with Elias and now the B Team. 3 people from Monday Night Raw that came along with him. What, is he afraid of the guys on the SmackDown roster? What, do you not want to put him against anybody actually different because he's not familiar with them since you kept him away from SmackDown for the last 5-6 years? Why would you do this? I don't understand it. We're supposed to invest in that? Ridiculous. I'm not going to be impressed by that at all. And while we're talking about Shane McMahon, why the fuck is Shane McMahon in 2 storylines on the main roster? 2 completely different storylines. Guy's gonna be in a steel cage match with the fucking Miz at Money in the Bank. What is he doing wasting his time with Roman Reigns on SmackDown Live? What, is he gonna be pulling double duty at Money in the Bank as well? Is he gonna have some sort of involvement in Roman Reigns' match with Elias on that night? Do you care? I fucking don't. I think half of the fucking crowd tonight in Ohio didn't care. The half of the fucking crowd looked like they were asleep. And the other half that were awake barely even cared. They were probably just watching the clock, waiting for it to be fucking 10 so they can get the hell on out of there. Maybe go catch a fucking Buckeyes report. Whatever it is you guys do out there in Ohio. One of the biggest stories coming out of the night, which actually wasn't handled too badly, was the story of the Hardys dropping the tag team championships due to some sort of an injury on Jeff Hardy. I don't believe the injury to Jeff Hardy is a real thing just yet. I think this is all storyline, and I think it was actually played very well in order to get Lars Sullivan into a position where he actually might get the crowd to react, where he did. Because you got people out there that the fans just absolutely love in the Hardys, and then you have Jeff Hardy, the more beloved Hardy for some, not for me, but for some, in a disadvantaged position by being injured, and Lars threatening to attack. That's how you do it. That's what you do when you want to get heat. You get these guys to go after people. You don't have them come out like Sami Zayn and sit there and put you to fucking sleep for 20 minutes, giving you Vince McMahon's greatest hits. So I didn't mind this segment so much. R-Truth came out and got involved because of the limitations in the involvement of Jeff Hardy. But if this isn't indeed a real injury, then this was a great way to play it off. This was a great way to write Jeff Hardy off of TV. We're probably going to see Matt Hardy pick up the torch and be the first opponent for Lars Sullivan going down the road. We also have R-Truth involved as well. So it's setting pieces in play. And it's not just random pieces. These are people that some fans are invested in. Yes, even certain people, just like myself, as many of my longtime fans know, we are invested in R-Truth. We enjoy the character of R-Truth, and it would suck to see him get decimated by Lars Sullivan, but it would get Lars to the next level. Higher up on the ladder to face somebody like a Matt Hardy. And then when he defeats Matt Hardy, now we're starting to look at Lars Sullivan in a completely different light. So this is a great way to start down that path, and Lars attacks just might be a thing, and it might actually work. Holy shit, they might actually do something that worked. But that was the only bright spot outside of, when Kevin Owens is talking, Kevin Owens is fantastic, and I don't mind it for the most part. But Kevin Owens, in trying to be funny, decided to do his own version of the Firefly Funhouse tonight, which we got a repeat of last night's performance. And he's out there playing with fucking dolls. You got Bray Wyatt playing with puppets over here. We got Kevin Owens in the ring with an extremely minimalized version of the Kevin Owens show. And he's pulling out toys of the New Day to talk to Xavier and to talk to Big E. And you know what's going to happen as he's out there just yammering on about being determined to beat Kofi Kingston and take the championship from him, because Kofi Kingston is not a main event player. He doesn't deserve to be there. All of the things you would expect Kevin Owens to say. But playing with toys, come on, that was a little bit much for me. Let's go up and down the official listing of the night so that we can get on out of here and get ready for more bullshit next week. So tonight, we saw Kofi Kingston start the show in an interview segment with Michael Cole, like we talked about. This ended up in a brawl, as well as Kevin Owens would come out to interrupt, but what he had to say would not be heard thanks to Xavier Woods coming out and attacking Kevin Owens, cutting everything short. Kofi Kingston wasn't happy about this. Apparently Xavier Woods was not supposed to be getting involved because the guy's got a bad back, and they're going to probably play on that as this feud develops. They then went to Bayley versus Becky. Like I said, this wasn't the worst women's match I've ever seen in the world, and I was glad to see Becky Lynch in the ring against somebody who was not blonde for once, and it was really uneventful towards the end. Becky Lynch just gets the win by applying the disarmer to Bayley, and after the match, Charlotte Flair attacks Becky Lynch post-match. And we see the same exact thing that we saw last night with Lacey Evans. We get a pre-recorded promo after this from Aleister Black. He talks about how fear is a powerful and paralyzing tool, and how it's man's nature to fear what we don't understand. Black says his opponents try to figure him out, and by the time they think they have figured him out, the referee has already counted to 3 in his favor, and any hope of conquering that fear has simply left the earth. Black says his opponents take one look in his eyes and they don't like the abyss staring back at them because it unveils a truth about themselves, a truth that allows them to fade to black. This was a very well written promo. I like the Game of Thrones style look of his of his promo. If you guys watched this last week's episode, the most epic episode of Game of Thrones ever, you know that one of the things we could complain about is the lighting in certain scenarios. It was very, very dark, as it was the long dark night coming to, and this definitely felt like I was watching somebody in the halls of Winterfell just going off about why their house is better than the other house. It was just a very cool segment. I like when they do this for people. It gives you a reason, or a way rather, to get to know them. You engage with them in these interview segments. It reminded me of back in the day when we used to get those little vignettes of Goldust playing on the beach, writing his name in the sand. The blackness around Aleister Black sitting in the dark, it was just very fitting, and I wish they would do more of things like this. This only took about 1 minute of TV time, and you made Aleister Black more compelling than I would actually give the WWE credit for. So you got to give them, just when they're bad, but you got to give it up for them when they do something right. After this, we go to the segment with the SmackDown Tag Team Champions. Matt and Jeff Hardy announce that they are relinquishing the titles. Lars Sullivan comes out to start some trouble, and it all ends up with Sullivan reigning supreme, taking out Matt Hardy, taking out R-Truth as he would come down to defend Jeff Hardy, who was trying like hell to get out of the ring, but was unable to do so thanks to his bum leg. But thanks to R-Truth, he did leave unscathed, and Lars attacks happened again tonight on SmackDown Live, and this time it actually meant something. We come back from the break and we talk to, we are told that Randy Orton, Ali, Andrade, and the Intercontinental Champion Finn Balor will be in the men's Money in the Bank ladder match for the Blue Brand, and they will be teaming in action tonight, later on, in a tag team matchup. And I'm like, what? Oh, it's still on? Great. Asuka and Kairi Sane versus the two enhancement jerk-offs, Eva Marie, Discount Eva Marie, and Alicia Fox 2.0. Asuka and Kairi Sane win after Sane hits the insane elbow drop for the win. After the match, Paige is sitting there celebrating with them, and then the Iconics were on commentary throughout this match, and it was everything that I could do to keep them out of my ears, and it got to the point where I just really had to lower my TV because it's not even about what they say, it's the way that they're delivering the lines, and it's like listening to a teacher scrape their nails against the blackboard, man. And regardless of what you feel about their wrestling ability or how you feel about them personally, their voices and just the way that they're presented and the way that they were told to act on this commentary team reminded me of everything that I hated when the New Day used to do it. It just was awful. Absolutely awful. And I could not stomach that at all. Why they were not put in action. You know what? I'm not even going to say why weren't they put into action, because if they were put in the ring by the WWE, they probably would have just had them lose unceremoniously, devaluing the Women's Tag Team Championship even more, if that's at all possible. Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose. Rose says just one of them will be allowed in the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match, and they both decide that it will be Mandy Rose, apparently being on the same page. So you showed us this segment with absolutely no tension and two girls being besties. Great. Mandy Rose being in this match. The only person happy about that is Corey Graves, and I could really care less about the happiness of Corey Graves. We come back from the break and Roman Reigns comes out. They want to talk about his punching Vince McMahon in the face last week as if it's the first time we've ever seen something that we have seen at least once a year for the last 20 years. There is nothing special about punching Vince McMahon in the face anymore. In fact, now it is probably worse to do it. It wasn't a bad thing 20 years ago. You know why? Because 20 years ago, he was only about 50 years old. But now you're punching a 70-something-year-old man in the face. And I'm supposed to be like, ooh, how bad? He punched the old man boss. There's nothing new or exciting or different about this. It's about as new and different as the guy's whole entire presentation. That guy being Roman Reigns. Or even fucking Vince McMahon for that matter. This guy's playing the same one-note fiddle for the last 20 years as well. And I think it would be better off if he just rode on his white horse into the sunset, go play fucking football with the XFL, and leave the wrestling to the new generation. Because when we're getting SmackDown lives like this, you know that it is so wrong. There is so much wrong. We could talk about this show for hours. And oddly enough, this is not even his fault. I'm not coming down on Roman Reigns the way I would normally. This is not his fault. I mean, maybe it is to a point. At some point, you know how much stroke you have with the old man. Don't you see yourself? Man, this whole thing has gone cold. Hey, Vince, maybe I should change some shit up. I mean, own your character. Own your own fate. He'll never fucking do that. Vince McMahon says jump. He says how high. Shane McMahon comes out and gets involved with the whole fucking thing with Roman Reigns. Ends up bringing out the B team. Two guys that are second or third generation wrestlers that absolutely have been disrespected since day one on the main roster. Both of these guys. Just completely wasted. Bo Dallas, former NXT champion. Bo Leave. Curtis Axel, the son of Mr. Perfect. And you can't get these two guys over? You want to put them together and call them the B team? I feel like Vince McMahon calls them the B team and labeled them the B team because that's how he views them. These guys are the B team. They'll never be as good as their old man was. They're like B-level versions. B-plus player versions. Fucking awful. Then we get a 1-on-2 handicap match between Roman Reigns and the B team. Elias as the special referee. Shane McMahon's involved. I'm out. Nobody gives a shit. What did you think was going to happen? Exactly what happened. Roman Reigns hits a spear, gets the win. Who cares? You're going to see people say, oh, this match was fun. It was great to see. What was great to see? Roman Reigns doing the typical Hulk Hogan style Roman Reigns shtick where he gets beat up by whoever the hell he's in the ring with, whether or not it's believable or not, only to come back in the end and win with his 5 moves of doom. Who gives a shit? Back from the break, we get the Firefly Funhouse segment with Bray Wyatt, which we talked about a little bit last night. If you're really interested in what I thought about it, you can go listen to the Raw review. I'm not going to go all in depth in detail again. I'm just going to tell you guys, after viewing it a second time, my opinion remains the same. This was a much more intriguing episode of the Firefly Funhouse. Bray Wyatt is already seemingly cracking at the seams, and that old Bray Wyatt, I don't believe, is gone. This might end up being interesting, but as of right now, it still just feels a little bit like a waste of everybody's time and a waste of Bray Wyatt's talent. But in this situation, it's one of those times where you just might have to be patient, because at the very end, when the payoff comes, we might all be singing a different tune, and you guys will remember that we here at Sledgehammer TV, you guys included, gave him a chance. That's all I'm asking you. I'm not telling you that I'm over the moon about it. I'm not telling you I'm all on board with the Firefly Funhouse. I still have my concerns, and I am going to keep those concerns until I see exactly how this thing ends up, because it could end up being one of the greatest things they have done in the last 5 to 10 years, or it could end up being another in a long line of colossal flops that go absolutely nowhere, and right now it's too early to tell exactly where it's going to go. So let's all be fair and just, you don't have to like it, but just give it some time, and don't hate on it so much. Just listen and look and watch those segments carefully, and maybe you will see, like I do, that there is just something to pay attention to when this segment is on screen. We had the tag team match Ali and Intercontinental Champion Finn Balor versus Andrade and Randy Orton. Why this match had to start off by embarrassing Andrade Cien Almas and giving him a live microphone, I don't know why somebody thought that was necessary. Did nobody sit in the back and ask him to say his line and see if it was going to actually be audible to the human ear for people that do not speak Spanish or might have a hard time with heavy accents, to see if the man could actually say the word learn? Because that's not what he said. We all know that's what he meant because of the way the rest of the segment ended up, as for some reason he felt it necessary to address his partner Randy Orton and tell him if he wanted to lean something, then he could just come to Andrade. It was not necessary. I didn't understand it. The match, once again, this was a tag team match, much like last night's tag team matchup, was just boring to me because there was nothing at stake. You don't enter Money in the Bank one at a time. You're not going to be able to win or gain an advantage. This was just a tag team match for the sake of a tag team match featuring 4 of some of the biggest talents on SmackDown Live. This is a much better field of competitors between Ali, Finn Balor, Andrade, and Randy Orton. SmackDown Live put their main players, or at the very least high-profile athletes, in this thing. They didn't give us a Baron Corbin. They didn't give us Drew McIntyre. They gave us some legit competition. And if I'm going to give you my early pick right now, you probably already know that I'm pulling for Andrade to win this thing. He's not going to. I doubt it. It's probably going to go to a Randy Orton or a Baron Corbin or a Braun Strowman. But I think WWE would be super smart to give it to Andrade or even Mustafa Ali. You want to shake things up. You want to make things seem new and crisp. Put it on a young guy like that. See what you could do with it. See if you can have him built up by the time he cashes this thing in to the point where it's actually a big, fun, epic moment. Because that's what wrestling's supposed to be. Big and fun and epic. And instead, tonight, it's putting me to sleep. Much like it does on Monday night. To be able to do that in 2 hours as opposed to the regular 3-hour bedtime pre-game that I get from Monday Night Raw, it's an achievement of itself in its own for SmackDown Live. Good on you for almost making me fall asleep before fucking 10 p.m. on a Tuesday. Hasn't happened in quite some time, I'll tell you that much. Shara Schreiber. I don't know who the fuck this girl is, where the hell she came from. Renee Young bot in the back. She's backstage with the final 2 women announced in the Money in the Bank ladder match, which will be Ember Moon and Carmella. We already touched upon this already, and I don't want to talk about it much anymore. Ember Moon is a fine choice. Carmella, why she is getting another chance, I don't know. She already won Money in the Bank. She already did this. We don't need a 2-time Money in the Bank winner for the women's division already. Let's let the wealth get spread just a little bit. Give it to somebody unexpected. Get better competition in this matchup. What you gave us is just looks like Vince McMahon's favorite playlist of women, with the exception of the 2 6-foot blondes, he's already got them in a much bigger situation than any of these girls. I don't mind Ember Moon. Carmella really didn't need to be involved. And then we go to the ring for tonight's final segment. Kevin Owens came out for the KO show. His special guest was supposed to be Xavier Woods, but instead he takes out a tiny little Xavier Woods toy. And I just didn't understand. I mean, I know Kevin Owens as a heel is going to try to get under your skin. He's going to embarrass you. He's going to talk to this toy and pretend it's you and say some pretty fucking vicious things. And it came off mildly entertaining. But with the Firefly Funhouse happening at the same time, I'm like, is everybody fucking losing their mind and wanting to play with toys? Do I need to start breaking out my action figures here as well? I showed you guys my puppets. I got toys too. Am I as crazy as Kevin Owens and Bray Wyatt? That could be a genuine possibility, but I'm definitely not crazy enough to be working on the writing staff of this fucking company. Kevin Owens talking to fucking Toy Big E, Toy Xavier Woods, and this was just a little bit too much for your World Heavyweight Champion to endure. Kofi Kingston runs to the ring and starts brawling with Kevin Owens. They're working each other all over the place. They end up outside. Kofi throws Kevin Owens over the announce table, into the chairs, and it just keeps going on from there. Before it ends, Kofi returns to the ring and poses in the corner, telling Owens to bring it back for a fight. Kofi's music starts up, and SmackDown goes off the air with Kevin Owens looking on from the crowd while Kofi stands confident and victorious in the corner. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is your SmackDown Live review on this Tuesday, April the 30th, 2019. Tomorrow, it's gonna be May. And I am not impersonating Justin Timberlake or doing my best in sync impersonation. I am telling you guys, tomorrow is May the 1st. And hopefully with the changing of the month, and maybe the weather will start to get fucking warmer here on the East Coast in the U.S., because I am so sick and tired of being fucking cold. The weather out here, just to give you guys an example, do you know that cold, really disgusting, wet, kind of muggy feeling you get when you're sitting down to watch a Monday Night Raw? Even if you're in the middle of the desert, you just feel like sick and clammy and sweaty, but you got the chills. That's what the weather is like in fucking New York all week long this week. All season long since the winter, and I just can't take it anymore. I want the summer to come, I want the sun to shine, and I want the sun to shine in my pro wrestling as well. But it's going to be a long, hard 2019. And if that day ever comes, I hope it comes soon, because I honestly don't know how much more I can take. SmackDown Live was our saving grace, you guys, and we all had a feeling that when Roman Reigns was shipped to this brand as a preemptive maneuver to keep Fox Sports happy when they get SmackDown Live, we all knew it was going to take a dive, but I didn't know it was going to take a dive this much. And all I could think of is maybe it has something to do with the fact that so many members of the creative team have just decided to take a leave of absence. We know Road Dogg is missing. We know Dean Malenko jumped ship. We have so many people leaving the company as far as professional wrestlers wanting to leave. Whether or not they're allowed to is a whole nother story. But a lot of the creative has left as well. Maybe it is mostly the SmackDown Live team. If you watch a show like you've seen tonight, you can't help but think that they lost whatever it is that they had that set them apart from Monday Night Raw. And tonight you get a copy-paste Monday Night Raw in blue edition of Suck Down Live. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. As I told you guys last night on the Monday Night Raw review, and I have to tell you guys because in case you missed it, we are no longer just a professional wrestling channel. We are bringing the hammer down on more than just pro wrestling, as pop culture is now in the eyesights for us, and we're bringing the hammer down on everything, you guys. And we started off this weekend, which was a good weekend to choose because it was the biggest weekend in entertainment history, because the Avengers Endgame blew up the box office and Game of Thrones blew up TV sets across the nation. And we here at Sledgehammer TV have got you covered. If you have seen all of these things and you want to know how I'm feeling, or maybe you need to know why everything in the Avengers Endgame wasn't quite as good as it should have been, why is it all wrong? Check out my video live on the channel right now. Avengers Endgame review and reaction, why it's all wrong. Spoiler warning, bitches, in case you don't see it right there. If you haven't seen the movie, definitely go see it. It is a good movie, but there are so many problems that we hammer down on. It's an interesting watch. Go check that one out. We did the same for Game of Thrones, although the hammer didn't come down on the episode as much as the episode brought it down on me. This was an unbelievable cinematic achievement in television production from HBO. I give you guys my thoughts and reactions on episode 3 for the final season, the Battle of Winterfell. Spoilers there. Also, in case you haven't noticed the trend right now, as we bring back Hammer in Hollywood to the channel. And then this very special, holy shit, Game of Thrones review and reaction. A very special presentation, something we've never really done on the channel before. My real-time reactions to some of the episode's biggest moments, and that video is just about reaching 6,000 views. So if you guys want to get in on what just might be the most historic video to date on Sledgehammer TV, go check that sumbitch out right now. Thank you all so very much for bearing with me this week. It has been a very, very busy weekend here on the channel, and I hope to try to keep this pace and keep you guys coming back for more on what is going to end up being your go-to channel for all things that you need to hammer down on, and nobody hammers harder than we do here. My name is Nick Nightmare. This is the team Thor the Sledgehammer, the official Sledgehammer of the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. Do not call him a mallet. This is his tag team partner, the World Heavyweight Champion of all the microphones in all the world. Nobody makes me sound better than Mr. Blue the Snowball. The most important member of the team, as always, is each and every one of you. And I want to invite you guys right now, if you have not done so already, to subscribe to this channel and become one of the 1,000+ that know that when you want your wrestling and entertainment news bullshit-free, Sledgehammer TV is the place to be. That, my friends, is going to do it, and we are out of here. And we will see you next time right here on your new favorite wrestling show, the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show, only on Sledgehammer TV, right here on YouTube.com. Boom.